And here we can't show peepees. What?
It was for culture.
What's the problem? Censorship. It's for culture.
Wait, what? It's animated? Wait, was this animated before?
Did you make this?
It's new. Oh my god, we're getting the leak of the animated diamond ball sack now. Yeah, we made a new emote. That potato, did you made the other one, I assume. We have an emote now for if you own 1% of the Moki collection. It's a diamond ball sack. And now we have an animated version, and it
Whoa.
sparkles. Wait, can we have animated emotes? We can, right? The one-of-ones are emoted. That's sick.
I don't know nothing. I don't know shit about fuck. I just know about lights and colors.
It's like a beating heart. Now I can't unsee that stuff. Oh my god.
A beating
Ball
bale
sack.
sack. All right. Well, I'm gonna get the ball rolling today.
Hey.
Wait, where's bio? I feel like bio is really gonna love this class. We miss you. So, first of all, I just want to say, like, oh my gosh, this is episode 10. We started in January. And we covered shapes, forms, making stuff on model, ball sacks, boobies, butts, and ball sacks. We covered evoking feelings, composition, line quality, directing the eye. Today we're talking about lights and color. And like, damn, just so much foundationally. I want to thank everyone for like showing up, hanging out, doing the homeworks, being awesome, drawing boobies, butts, and ball sacks. It's been so fun, and like Momo and I just like love having these classes because it's just a really fun way to like share what we know and do it with people who are like super awesome and, you know, like creating their own masterpieces. I do want to share that like there's going to be, what we're looking for at Moku is a lot of opportunities to like have y'all involved, and a lot of the times you've seen that with the one-of-ones. We're actively teaching you things that you will be able to apply to future projects or potential collabs that could be featured in like maybe Grand Arena activities. So I'm not sure how much I can say about that, but it's a good idea to be working on your abilities to create illustrations, and I'll tell you more when I can. But yeah, all of these things are cumulative. They can add to something. We're trying to figure out how we can teach, but also like give you opportunities where we can. So, put that in your brain.
Lizzie, that's how you get them back for season 2, episode 1. That's when you leak what they can do.
Actually, we have a little something at the end, so stay tuned. Very excited about that. I'll share what we're going into next season, but today we are talking about can someone stream the magma board, because I'm gonna get rid of it from my screen and go into Figma land in case anyone wants to take a peeky.
Oh, I can do it.
Thanks. Thank you. All right. Oh, this one's gonna be like knowledge, dude. Knowledge. Colors and oh my god, my fucking face is covering this shit. Lighting and colors. Oh my gosh. Bean! Good morning. Hey, hey, hey. Oh my gosh. Did I say, welcome to Fartist Boobcamp, baby? We're learning about colors and lights. Lights and colors. Woo! Welcome everybody. So, today we're talking about lights and colors, as I just said. I learned most of what I know from this artist, Jeremy Vickery. He is so incredible. He's worked at, I believe, a huge amount of time at Pixar. So he's released a bunch of different courses, and I think he has a YouTube channel. And I watched some of his courses. There's one course called Practical Light and Color, which is where I take like a lot of my knowledge and what I'm sharing a lot of today from. And I learned about this when I was in college, so more than 10 years ago. And I applied all of that to my thesis film, and ended up doing really well. I got like a Student Academy Award, Student Emmy, and that kind of stuff. So he was a big part of like, I think a huge part of what I've learned as an artist. And this is his face. That's Jeremy. Thanks for the knowledge. Cool. All right. My mic is in front of the chat box, so I'm doing weird things with my neck. Anyway. Okay. When it comes to lighting and color, like, do y'all feel like you struggle with this? This feels like a kind of complicated topic. Like, does not anyone want to share where they get kind of stuck or anything like that? I suck at color, Mom. It's really hard to know, like, what color to use, I think. Especially digitally, you know? You look at that giant fucking color wheel, and you're like, which one? Which one? Yes. Yes. How about lighting? Is that, like, something you think about? I just use hues. And it feels right sometimes. I just hues. Nice. Ooh, cool! You were painting this weekend, Bean! I get lost once there's bounce light. Bounce light! Sweet potato, what are you talking about? Bounce light, good for you. We're gonna talk about it. I'm very excited. Nice! Yeah! Okay, let's go. Alright. First of all, I'm just gonna be sharing like photos from real life that I've taken, because a lot of like the concepts we share, they're taking from real life, and then we're applying it to our digital paintings that we then like exaggerate, manipulate, blah blah blah. So basically, we can see everything in the world because of light. It's the reason we can see color, how far something is, what material it is, and like the shape that it has. It's possible because of light, okay? But it can get really technical, okay? Like the topic of light. And I'm not trying to have your brains explode right now, but there are some things I will explain that's a bit basic, is that like, basically there's a light source and it like shoots light rays down at something. Like if we have the sun is shooting light rays. So maybe you have a ground like this and it is going boop and it's bouncing down. Boop. Well, it's coming at an angle. Boop. 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 Ooh, Marco Bucci, also really amazing. Agreed. Thank you, Miguel. Marco Bucci. I think in the past years he started making a YouTube channel, but also amazing. Okay, so an example is the sun. The sunlight is like a really big source of light, and it's super far away from us, but it is like shooting light rays at us. So this is the sun coming this way. This is one form of lighting that's really, really common. It's outdoor lighting. And then you can have something like a neon light, which that is the light source, and like lights shoot out from there. Pyom, 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 pyom. Okay. So, oh, there's more pictures. So as I said, when there is a light source, I hate that I have like tapered on this pen. When there's a light source that's like this, and the object is really, really smooth, think of like a metallic table or glass, what's gonna happen is it's gonna hit the surface and it's going to bounce back up. If you're a nerd about this and you're familiar with like, have you ever played pool, billiards? It's like the banking rule that if you hit something at a wall, the angle that you hit it at, it's gonna bounce off at the same exact angle. Anyway, that is what's gonna happen for lighting. It comes down and it bounces off at the same angle. This isn't important to know, like why it's bouncing off at the same angle. What is important is that like this is a smooth surface, so everything's gonna be reflected like in a very concentrated way. But then if you have a surface that's like a little bumpy, because on a microscopic level, think about a rock versus like a smooth metallic table, bumpy surfaces. Now the light is gonna hit it and it's gonna bounce off like a lot more crazies. Oh my gosh, what is happening? Like, it's just mayhem compared to something like this. Not mayhem, actually, just the light will like disperse differently. So let me show you. Now all these pictures I take in life are finally making sense. So this is an example of something this is my meal prep, you guys. This is an example of something shiny with a really smooth surface. It's the pot and the handle, and like this part of the handle, it's a little not as shiny, but as you can see, it's super reflective. You see like really sharp highlights and really sharp shadows. Oh, you can't see my mouse, sorry. Sharp highlights, sharp shadows. So it's like light, 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 black, black, black. But when you look at the pastas are bumpies. They're bumpy, rough babies. There's like way less really sharp lighting and shadows. That means the light is coming down and it's bouncing off more in this way than this way. So that means the shadows that it has isn't going to be as sharp. You might not, like if you were drawing this in 2D, you would draw really sharp shadows here, but on this, like you're not gonna draw the same amount of sharp shadows. These are actually gonna be way softer, okay? And we'll go into more details about this. This is another example. This is my brother. His skin is much shinier than his shirt. His shirt is like a cottony material. This is your uncle. Uncle! So that is why the highlight is sharper. Like.
Oh, Bio is here.
Bio! Welcome, welcome. We're talking about shiny versus not shiny things and how lights react to it. This is shinier. This is rougher. So as you can see, like the lighting here, it's like a softer fall off. But here, it's tighter. If you were to like take a light and say like, I'm gonna color this now. you would do this very tight, but you would do this at a lower opacity and kind of like fade out. Does anyone have questions about that, about shiny versus rough objects? Is that all making sense to y'all? It makes sense until now. Cool. Because that's important. It's important to distinguish like the shiny things versus rough things, but it's also important to think about the source of the light and then what that light does. So this is a CG image from Jeremy Vickery, where when you build stuff in a computer, now things are like way more, they're way more physically accurate CG stuff. So this wouldn't actually happen. But back in the day when CG rendering was still being figured out, we could isolate things in this way. Anyway, the point is, this is a room. Oh,
I
yeah.
think Sean needs to make an announcement.
Yeah.
Hey, Lizzie, really quick, can you stop sharing your camera?
My camera is a OBS virtual camera.
Yeah. So this is what I'm here. Let's try this.
Oh.
So
I just share my screen.
Yeah. So you hit share your screen and then click devices and then choose the OBS camera.
Share my screen. I never know.
Yeah, no, this should work.
Supposed to do. Better?
There we go. Now everyone can still join.
Oh, there was a cap. Oh, that's so pretty.
Yeah, we went over the cap.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you so much. I only know how to fart. Okay. Come. More fartists. Yeah, I was like, but I need to flail. But. Okay, so where was I? This is an example of like there's a light source. This is a room, and there's a window right here, and the light pours in. Well, if you were to draw this is not what actually would happen. This would happen because there was a light here and there was a light here. This would happen. And why? Why is that? Sweet potato, you know. Name it, baby. Say it. Bounce light, yeah. Bounce light. That means this light is coming in. It's going, pyom, dude. It's hitting the ground. Pyom. Then what? This bounces up. Hits the ceiling. Pyom. This is hitting the edge of this. It's just bouncing around so much. So that is why you can have one bright window like this and the whole room gets lit up. Okay? Let's look at it in real life. I'm not lying. Okay. These are some pictures of when I went to Taiwan. So, this is one of the night markets. Let's take a look at how Bounce Light is doing shit. Yo, this is gonna change the way you look at the world, and that is the point of every single class that you leave, and you're like,
those night markets look like such a vibe. They look so cozy.
It's so cool. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
But so we have this bright light here. It is shooting lights down, and it's actually illuminating this area here. Like if you were to just look at this picture real quick, there is like a lot of light happening here compared to here or here. And it's because there is a bounce light happening that's hitting the ground over here. What? Yeah. Believe it. These areas here, these lights, they're not only hitting the ground, but they're they're lighting all around. Hence Look, there's lighting on this girl's hair on the left. There's lighting over here on the right. Girl is getting lit over here. There's lights everywhere. Okay? Wow. Pyom pyoms. Let's look over here. This was the coolest this was a cafe I stumbled upon. And what's really wonderful about this is I learned that the family runs this like they what's it called? They propagate plants and they sell plants, and they also run a cafe. And then the dad was not 3D. He was a real life sculptor. So in the back, he had this huge art studio. And like I stumbled upon this coffee shop, like road tripping around Taiwan. We stepped in and we were like, what the fuck? We ended up staying there for like 5 hours because we were like, just so amazed by each other. And I was like, this is my art. And he's like, this is my art. And we were like, that's so cool, dude. Anyway, lighting, bounce lighting. Take a look at this. First of all, it looks like there's light sources up top, right? And they're shooting down. And it looks like there's a light source somewhere up here, but something is hitting this, something is hitting this. There's some on the shelves under here. And then and here, and here. And so the bounce light is hitting these shelves underneath. Not only is it hitting the shelves, it's hitting the bottom of the shelves. So it's hitting the bottom of the shelves, and then the bottom of the shelves is bouncing back up. So the reason that's important is because it means these areas aren't just dark and shadow, because there's so much bounce light moving around. There's so much bounce light that it's hitting the ground. And I also want to point out, remember the rough and smooth, shiny, reflective ideas when it comes to materials? Well, because the ground is so shiny, let's go back to this. Shiny versus rough. Up! Secrets. This is the reason that it's so shiny you can see the reflection of the lights. But you can't necessarily see the reflections of the lights in the brick. Hell no! You can't see the brick. Why you wouldn't see it? The bricks are rough. And then those are the roughest. But then you have the wood. The wood is a little shinier than the brick, but it's not as shiny as the ground. So you can see how like the lights show up differently on these things. Oh my god. Here's another example. They had a fan just like blowing on the plants to keep them strong. So light sources. We got them up here. We got them underneath here. There's something from above. And so you can see it not only hits the back wall, but it hits down and it hits this. And once again, it's happening over here. And that bounces off, and even that is hitting the side here. Lots of stuff. Real question is, how shiny should Moki's balls be? Well, that's a good question. It depends how fuzzy their balls are. Yes.
Oops.
Scientific. Because if there's no hair on the balls, then the skin will be shinier, so they will be more reflective. If it's some sparse hairs, it will be a little less shiny. If it's more hair, it'll be less shiny because it'll be rough. But then you can have like really coarse hair versus really shiny hair. You know what I'm talking about? There's a lot of Asians in this room. You know, y'all who have those like silk curtain hair. That's why it's so shiny. because it's smooth, smooth, smooth. But my hair is not shiny because the Spanish kicked in and it's rough, rough, rough. That was a great question and comparison using Moki's balls. Great. Good job, class. All right. So that's bounce light. Sweet potato. How do you feel about bounce light? Give it to me straight. Are you like, what the fuck? Lights are everywhere. What is life? Or are you like, okay, that makes sense. Look around your room. Look around your room. And like, take in where lights are bouncing around. And go, oh, ooh. It's clear, but once it gets overwhelming, it's hard to distinguish where is where. Yes. It can get overwhelming. And I think what's important about bounce light is that, like, it creates something that's called diffuse light. In 3D, what we do is, instead of worrying about like everything having a direct light source and then what it's hitting, generally if there is bounce lights that are moving around, we kind of just give everything in the room like a little bit of light, like a little bit of a light pass there. So here, it's like everything would be a little, as opposed to falling to like complete darkness. So the way you can start that is if you're coloring a scene that has a lot of opportunities for like bright lights like this moving around, just ask yourself, can I like fill this with a kind of lightness, as opposed to having like light areas and then dark, like literally going to black areas. But more, it's important for you to, once you start seeing this in real life, then you're going to start seeing it in photographs in real life. You're going to start seeing it in people's drawings, and like you will slowly start to add it. This isn't like a, now you mastered lights in your next drawings from now on. This is life, baby. Like this is, you're refining your eye for life. And this is a complicated concept. So basically my challenge is just when it has too many lights. You know what? We are going to have Fartist office hours. I'll explain later. But you can always bring an example like that to the class and be like, hey, what do you think of these lights? Because I think a lot of the times we share stuff and it's like, look at the character. But there's so many things we can talk about. We can talk about line quality, composition, lighting, materials, boop. And like the more you get better at those individual things and how they work together, the more of a master artist you will be. So let's talk about shadows. This is my hand. So this is in a room. This is my office, my painted background. This is in a room where there was direct sunlight coming out of the window. And so this is what the shadow looks like in the window. This is in the hallway where there isn't a direct shadow. It's only bounce light. And look at the difference between the shadows. Yes, sharper shadows. And besides sharper shadows, there's another difference with the shadows. Class? Thanks, soup. There is a rough wall. Less sharp shadows. What about... No, I see people typing. I'm not gonna say it. Shut up, Momo. What about the brightness of the shadow? Color's another thing, but that's complicated. Well, I'm distinguishing one has a brighter light source, one has a darker light source, one has direct sunlight here. This is all from bounce light. Well, how does that affect the shadows? Think about it in terms of contrast, maybe. It's muted. What do you mean by muted? You're getting warmer. Yes. Tone? I think, Sweet Potato, you're getting to... So it's kind of tricky to tell because there's always like the relativity, like this shadow could actually be the same if we put it next to each other, but this is this color, or you know what? Let me show you. Okay, so this is the wall. This is the wall. Can you see these? Yes. This is the wall. And then this is the shadow under my hand. Okay. And then this one that's the wall. And then this is the shadow under my hand. I'm going to take this area. It's a little subtle. Maybe I should take it from the same place. Oh, don't look at my wrinkly fingers. Regrets. You know, we used to be so self-conscious about my hands because kids would bully me. Don't laugh. Okay, this is a better example. A lot of people are saying soft. I'm leaning away from soft because it is there, and we're going to talk about it for a second. But something else is happening. So the difference between these two versus these two. Ignore color. Contrast. Yeah! It's darker. Yeah. So here, there's a shadow, but it's really light shadow. It's a very, very light shadow. And here, there's a shadow, but it's a very dark shadow. So this is the difference between having, like, if you have a scene where there's a very bright sun, and it's like noon. Noon is like, the sun's like, yo, what's up, bitch? The shadows are going to be really dark. But if you have like an overcast day where there's a bunch of clouds in the sky and you can't really see the sun, you will notice that the shadows are way lighter. They're really soft, but they're way lighter. That's because there's also a lot of bounce light happening. And another thing that y'all pointed out is that the shadows are way softer. So here they're like pyong pyong pyong, beep 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 beep, pyong pyong pyong, and here they're like, I'm a shadow. I'm a shadow. You know what I'm saying? And that happens with light sources. But another thing happens, and this is directly applicable to a lot of the drawings that you're doing. It will be sharper, closer to where it's making contact with something versus how far away the shadow is. So that means like, this is my cup. This is my cup, and it's on a coaster. So the shadows around here are much sharper versus the shadows over here. These are soft, soft babies. Soft baby shadows. Let me show you another example. This is also in Taiwan. This is indoors, so there was more direct lighting, because it's like showing off, like, look at this pot, bruh. And so you have much sharper shadows, but it will be sharper closer to the object and then softer the farther they go. Here's another example. The shadows are like more intense and sharper. It's hard to see here because this is an overcast day, but it is sharper here under the thing. And then here it's like soft, soft baby shadows. Soft shadows. This is another example of that's why we learn. Sweet Potato said your work lacks depth because I do not understand light and shadow. It's okay. It's all cumulative. You just get better and better and better. Yeah, we should have more doggy benches. This is an overcast day. If it was super sunny, this would probably have really sharp shadows here. But because it is overcast and a lot of that light is being it's like being spread out because it's hitting these shadows and bouncing around, there's a much softer shadow. So I want you to think about, like, when you are drawing anything and you're putting shadows on it, ask yourself how soft the shadows should be. Bio, ask yourself how sharp the shadows should be. It depends on the light source. Is it like a strong light source, a direct light source, or is it bouncing around? Like, is the light source coming from bounce light? And how far are the shadows from the object? From, like, where the shadow is originating. Those are shadows. That's light and that's shadows. Next, I'm going to talk about color, and then I'm going to talk about depth. But that was kind of a lot to take in. We're definitely going over on this class. Once again, this is like a complicated topic, and I don't think that y'all need to know how to practically do it. The point is, like, start looking at stuff and pay attention to shiny versus rough stuff. And then, like, how shadows interact with stuff. Look at your desk. Look at where you're sitting. Be like, hello, shadows. I've never looked at you this way. All right. Now, this next part we're getting into is color. I feel like this trick alone, like, it changed my life. It fucking changed my life, dude. Let me show you in Photoshop. I constantly live in the dark. Okay, your shadows will look different than someone who's in sunshine. All right, let's see. Wow, this is a good opportunity to see some leaks, let me tell you. Don't look at my board. Okay. Now. Let me just show you that. Let me move my. I want you to see this. It's very huge, but look at my colors. Look at it. Look at my colors. All right, so, yeah. Why is this not? Okay, I need to make a new layer. Okay, so typically, let's say you're making something, and it's like a hot stove, or some kind of light source, or maybe it's a neon light, right? I think typically what you would think to do is like, this is the light source, and it'll just get kind of darker as it fades off into space, right? That's what you would imagine. Something like that. And let's say you have something like a laser or a lightsaber. You might do like this. Oops. Like it's light here, and it kind of just fades off like that. Right? Does this seem typical of like you want to use a color, so you're gonna use it, and then it just kind of gets darker and darker as you go? Potentially. I hope so. I mean, that's my theory. So this is another example from Jeremy Vickery. He's like, okay, here's a drawing, right? And if someone's like, color that, he might do something like this, which looks really cool. He took like a yellow color, and like here it's bright because it's shiny. And as it gets darker, he's just going to use a darker yellow. And here's green. And as it gets darker, he's just going to use a darker green. Does this sound familiar? Is this like, you know, that's how people choose colors, right? Right. But if you had a drawing like this, again, this is from Jeremy Vickery, and you wanted to add like way more dimensionality and believability, look at what this feels like compared to this. Yeah, that's right. Holy shit, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? Exactly. This is like, first of all, the lighting, I mean, this creature here, like, looks like there's lighting coming from up top. But here, there's also lighting coming up top. There's another light from back here. But even like this body right here versus this scale right here is very different. One is so much more satisfying. There's a lot of information happening in the shadows versus this. This kind of falls flat. This is like not so exciting. I don't like it. And why is that? Well, as always, I'm going to take this to real life town. So,
we're going to see a real life dinosaur.
Oh no. This is just I have no dinosaurs for y'all.
God damn it.
I just have my living room. So sorry that this is such a shitty quality picture. But let's take a peeky. Yes, you do see a cock. Never forget. This is old picture. But so we have light sources. These light sources are pictures. Or what? Neon lights. I mean, they're lights. This is a neon light. This is just a regular light. What am I saying? I'm lying to you. Anyway, neon lights. This behind here is it's a light strip. Okay, so let me explain to you this little doohickey over here, okay? Because I think no one like really breaks this down. This over here, this is your hue. It's your color, okay? Yes? Colors. This is the difference between pink, green, blue, pyong, pyong, pyong. See. Okay. This over here, there's two things going on. There is value, which is light to dark. If you look at this box, you can see it changing. Here it's light, here it's dark. So you got value from the top to bottom. You have hue over here. And then can someone tell me what it is left to right?
Gradient.
And no,
No.
What is happening to the color?
It's a spectrum. No.
It is a spectrum. It is a gradient. But as you're choosing colors left to right, like you could
Ooh, I
say,
think Potato got it.
actually, Cephalion got it.
Ah.
Yes. So here, when we're talking about value, we're saying it is getting light or it is getting dark. Here you can say it's pink or it's green or it's orange. Here, you would say it is less saturated, it is more saturated. So these are three important parts of a color. Hue, value, which is lightness or brightness, lightness or darkness, and saturation. So when I was doing this, I chose a color. It was like full saturation. And now I'm just going to color pick here. And it's just, can you see that only the value is changing? You can see at the right how that dot is moving. It's going from, it's like the color is staying the same because you can see that the hue bar isn't moving. The saturation is staying the same because it's on the right side. But the value, lightness, brightness, is changing. Same for over here. There's only one direction that it's moving. But if you do something like this, you're like color picking up here, color picking down here. This is a color that is bright and it's low in saturation. This is a color that is dark and saturated. So those are important things to notice. Because when we look at something like this, right? Like this is a wall behind it. So it's like consistent. If you look at the color here, I just want to show you, like, as I color pick, notice what happens in that box there. So I'm starting out here and I'm getting closer to the light source. Can someone tell me what you are seeing happening? Look at it move. Look at it do its own thing. What's happening? It's getting less saturated. It's getting less saturated. Now let's look at this one. It's getting less saturated. There's also another thing happening, but it's way subtle. And I would leave that for like level expert. The main thing is it's getting less saturated. But there's another thing happening. It's happening in the hue. Come on. What's happening in the hue? You got it. What's it doing? What's it doing? What? It is changing in color. So here, it is going less saturated. It is still moving. The saturation is still going from right to left. But also the color is changing a bit. So, oh my God, that's so crazy. That's so crazy. What do we do with this information? Well, where is it? Where's my little bar? Ah! I need to show you from real life color temperature. All right, y'all. When you get a light, you get like you got a fancy light for your office because you're like, I'm gonna make this look so cool. And it doesn't necessarily have like green and purple. It usually has warm or light color. Yes? Are you familiar with having bulbs like that for your setup, for your fancy streaming service setup, or just life? think. I hope. Look, I'll show you right now. This is my light. You see me? This is my light. Typically, there's different modes. This is warm. This is less warm. I think it's moving towards, I'm using my finger. It's moving to here. And now this is bluer. And now it's warm. So we go from warm to cool. I call people who live in homes with very blue lights psychopaths. It is super harsh on the eyes, doesn't feel good. Like a trick to making your home feel more cozy and nice is give yourself warm lights.
I have one of those, you know, those lamps, the quartz lamps. They're like, is it? It's like the ones that are like, no. What's it called? I don't know. It's like an orangey lamp. Well, I always turn it on and it makes everything kind of warm.
The like
it's not
salt
quartz,
lamp?
I don't think. Salt lamp, sorry, yes, that's it. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love this.
Yes, exactly. Versus like fluorescent bulbs. Like
Yeah, when it
working
gets
in an
like-
office with fluorescent bulbs, it like, how does
Oh,
this
dude,
make
yeah.
you feel?
Yeah.
Versus, how does this make you feel?
I love turning that thing on. 6, 7 p.m., turn it on, it's just vibes.
Exactly. One's a fucking hospital. The other one is like, yay. My only light is my monitor. Sweet God. Sweet potato. Please get yourself another light source. You're hurting your eyes
we
so
need to
much
get
and make it
Potato
warm.
a salt lamp.
Oh
we
my
need
gosh.
we need to get her a salt lamp for her desk.
Oh my gosh. Yes, that is
A
so
salt lamp, no.
so actually because you only have one light source in your room, there is not enough lights to add more bounce light around your room. And so it's very high contrast and that will add strain to your eyes. So I will actually like take pictures of the way my partner and I set up our home, in that we have a lot of low, soft lights. And it like, you'll see the vibe. You'll see the vibe. Anyway, this is how color temperature works in real life. And one is obviously more pleasant than the other. But what's happening is like, it's more saturated on the left. And as it gets to direct sunlight, it is less saturated. And like, you will see from, I think we were looking at that blue light, like it went from a dark blue, but it actually went like almost cyan-y and then to white. And then here it goes from reddish orange. Oh yes, that's a great light. Look at how warm. I love it. So soft.
You can bonk those things too.
Yeah. Oh. Wait, I have to show you this. Ah!
Oh my god, Lizzie, Moki would work for this because, like, obviously he's orange. Like, if he lit up, like, it would be perfect, right? It would already have the colors.
Let's make a monkey. Oh.
You can, like, bonk his balls or something. Or his leaf.
Yes. Dog, we're on a roll with the merch ideas. Cammy can't be stopped. Where were we? So this, like, not only are we getting brighter, it's actually changing from like a reddish orange and it's going to yellow. So let's take this back. Wait, let me see where I'm. Okay. Let's take it back to the original example. Dog, when I learned this, I feel like I shit my pants. Okay. All right, let's try it again. But let's try the same premises. So it was like, I know that to make it more dynamic, to make it more realistic, what I want to do is I want to start at this point, and I want to drag the light over here. So I'm gonna start by, and you know what? I'm just gonna I'm gonna get rid of my opacity. So it's just like this. I'm gonna go like this, and then I'm just gonna oh no, I have this stupid shit in Photoshop. I've been too lazy to fix it that when I color pick, it goes on my secondary color. Ah, I'm a bad example. I don't know how to fix this. Let me try again. This, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. Ah! This. Okay, look at the difference between this red one and then this one. But, obviously, like, zoom out. This is like, but done better. I'm doing it sloppily. We know that for color temperature, it actually gets more yellow. So now let's try that. We're gonna go red, which is starting here. Oh, I'm gonna start down here. Red. And then we're gonna go in saturation. And I'm gonna just bump this up a little. And I'm gonna go like this. And then I'm gonna go up more. And I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna go this. And then I'm gonna go more. I'm gonna go in. Oops. Am I getting these colors well? Ah, my mouse is getting stuck. In. No, I didn't do it smooth because my thing is getting messed up. Okay, one strip. Then I'm gonna scoot up and I'm gonna do less saturated. And then I'm gonna scoot up and I'm gonna do less saturated. Ah, shit. Less saturated. And I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna go in. Even more. Less saturated. So, that is the difference between this and this, showing a light source and color temperature. And the same thing happens for blue, where you can go, this is my light source, and add a little opacity. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry about the inverted thing, it's a little confusing. I'm gonna go closer to that light blue and I'm gonna make it less saturated. And then I'm gonna go closer to light blue, less saturated. Oops. And then I'm gonna go closer to light blue, less saturated. Closer to light blue, but I'm already getting to like white. Boom. Oh my god. Sorry, thank you so much. Okay, so this is with just messing with saturation, the color. No, lightness and darkness. This is just lightness, darkness, and saturation. And this is lightness, darkness, and hue. I want to do another one that's better for red. I'm going to do it more exaggerated. So, red. Orange. More yellow. And then like white. Though I might introduce more orange here. Okay. So that is how I'm changing color in a way that's like very different. So here, it isn't just blue, dog. It isn't just blue. It's getting lighter and less saturated, which means the darker you go, the darker and more saturated the shadows are. So this rule is, here's another amazing example. Let me show you. Because if you can color pick it, it's like, look at these real life rules. My God. Oh, oh, no. Okay, color pick time. Look at this tangerine. Okay, this is the color. And as we get higher up, it is moving up away from orange, up towards yellow, and it's getting less saturated. But also, if we get darker, it's getting more saturated. So coming from here, less saturated, more saturated. Going up, more saturated, less saturated. So this is a rule. This is a rule. When things as lights get darker on something, make sure your shadows are more saturated. Don't just make it darker. Don't just go, oh, there's a shadow. Let me just make it darker. Like, let's say this is your color. Let me just make it darker. No, you want to go diagonal. And when you have, I just did sign of the cross. If this is your color and you want to make things look lighter, go brighter and less saturated. So actually, instead of operating from this place of left and down, or up and down versus left and right, I want to encourage you guys to move diagonally. Diagonally. So, like, here's just a quick example of like, here's a weird color. I'm just going to choose this color. Oh, this brush is terrible. Ah. 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 To add a light, I'm going to just straight up, oh wait, sorry. I want to have this as a separate layer. So this is my color. And this might be super simple. I'm just going to add a light. I'm just going to choose something that is lighter and less saturated. And just go. I'm going to clip it. And I might even go like this. And then I'm going to add a shadow. And again, ooh. This is the color. I'm going to go more saturated and darker. And I'm going to go. Okay, but if I had a better brush. Versus if I had this color. I had this color. And I went, okay, I want to make it lighter. I'm just going to make it lighter. Wait, oh my God. This is the color I wanted. Okay, so same color sphere. This one gets a light shadow that is, it gets lighter and less saturated. This is just going to get a color that is lighter. Oops. And then this shadow, instead of it being, oh my god. Okay, instead of it getting darker and less saturated, it's just gonna get darker. I feel like I messed up the shadow here. Try again. Is this the right one? Yes. This one should be darker and more saturated. Does that color look right to you? Just test something. Why does that look so different? Do I have a screening thing going on? Ah! Momo, are you catching something I'm doing weird? Maybe let me just use this as masks. Oops. Oh. Sorry, I'm realizing that my, this is a different color. Okay. Like, I could tell because of this, the mask was wrong. Sorry, ignore it. Difficulties. Delete. Oops. I should have used a better brush.
It's okay. It looks great. It looks really good.
It's a
Oh,
subtle
pretty.
act, but I just want to show you that, like, this highlight over here versus this highlight over here is way more interesting. And this almost, like, when you don't use saturation, things just look muddy. They just look muddy. And which was like this one. And so actually, Chunny and Delirium, when we were working on the Moki season GIF, we weren't using the idea of, like, the closer that it gets to the light source, it gets lighter. So these are two examples of, like, two examples of something that's using color temperature and not using color temperature. But here, the light, the closer into the light source that you're getting, the less saturated and lighter it is. Versus this, it works, but it's not as, like, ooh, looks good. I was just gonna color pick this image, but we're at 9:12 already. The last thing I was gonna go over is atmosphere, and it's a quick idea. But especially for, like, bio, you still in here? Who's doing, like, these Woku Weekly covers? I would be very interested to challenge you to pay attention to the colors you're choosing when it comes to lights and shadows. I want you to remember the rule. That is, the lighter something gets, the more it should be bright and less saturated. And the darker things get, so stuff in shadows, they should be more saturated and dark. Remember the
Bio,
The
I
color
think we
picker.
need a Las
Like
Vegas
this.
cover where there's tons of lights where you have to do this.
Don't overcomplicate it. Just do one. Just do one.
Just do one light.
But remember to move diagonally, not just left and right and up and down. Is the point.
Do we want a spotlight cover where Kathleen is in it? That would be cool for next week.
Ooh. That'd be interesting. Okay, and very last thing. So I have to check the texture and color of the surface, saturation, color, temperature, direction of light, hardness of light. Okay, I will. Ooh. Okay, we're looking at an example. How do I copy this? Someone's just posting a picture. We might not get to atmosphere. Look at this butthole, dude. What the fuck? So actually, this is working great because these colors that you're adding, they're getting lighter. Look! This is not just blue. This is not just blue getting lighter. It is changing colors to the point where it hits this like bright cyan color. This is awesome. This character is in front of the TV, so watch out for that. Seeing tangents, watch out. But when it comes to lighting, these are really great things that you're already implementing. Okay? Do we want to go over atmosphere, or we feel like that's the thing. That's the shows. That's the thing. Momo, what do you think? It's like foreground, midground, background stuff.
Oh, I think we gave enough for their brains.
Yeah,
Plus, there's announcement.
there is.
Announcement.
She's like, do it.
Wait, I have to find the. Just a second. I believe this one. Okay. So, first of all, bio, I felt like this was a dig, but I totally feel your feelings of being overwhelmed. It's okay. So, I want you, like, it would warm my heart for all you artists out there and everyone else who's learning. When you go look around the world for this weekend, pay attention to things that are rough and shiny. Rough versus shiny. Shiny. I'm scared of the world. Don't be afraid. Rough versus shiny. Direct light versus bounce light. Shadows, just sharp versus rough, and distance from the source. Color, temperature. Don't look like directly at lights. I hope no one gets blinded after this call, after this class. But like, just maybe take a picture of it, and then look. And like, if you want to simplify this, just pay attention to maybe one thing a day. Like, write this down and then be like, today's the day that I'm gonna pay attention to rough things versus shiny things. That was my favorite part of, one of my favorite parts of learning about materials in 3D is like starting to recognize how different shiny versus rough things are. And it just like, it's like, wow, that reacts with light very differently. I don't know. I'm a nerd. I really like that. Okay, so y'all have been showing up, and I want to say I am so proud of y'all for coming to these classes, putting in the time, doing the homework, like learning and being engaged. The way that you get better at being an artist is by being consistent and like working on your craft. And it doesn't always mean drawing. Sometimes it's like just showing up to these calls. So I just want to thank everyone for that. Y'all are super awesome. I'm really proud of you for pushing yourself, because art is not easy. But I want to make a special shout out to the one student that has done all of the homework. All of the homework. And that is Fabled. Dear Fabled, you have made mamas so proud. if you didn't know, we knew that you did the homework every time it was asked. And for that reason, we will be giving you this motherfucking monkey.
Yo,
Okay?
what?
So Fable, can you please share your address? And
That's
Han will
sick.
be sending you this monkey because where is it? The timing!
I'm trash, you're trash, we're all trash.
This was specifically picked because PP drawings and there's trash on your head. But yes, share address. This is not the last class. I know Fabled is like, oh no, this is not the last class. So we're going to continue this, but the next course is actually going to be Fartist office hours. We've had a lot of people throughout the past 7 months be like, I have this artwork, and you take a look at it. They've asked questions like, how do you start a business? How do you become... We had an internal artist ask, how do you become a creative director? How does my portfolio look? How does my website look? Can you look at my stuff? What would help me get hired? Will you critique my drawing? So instead of having these lectures, we're going to continue on the same schedule, but Momo and I are just going to show up here, and it's open for anyone to just ask anything they want. And, you know, you have a lot of industry professionals within this room that are willing to help. And once again, like getting one-on-one feedback is very hard to find and very expensive. I used to do this on the side, and I charge money for it, but we really care about the community, and we want y'all to get something out of it. So we have the first course where we taught you a lot of things. Keep practicing them, because soon we will ask to perhaps get some of your artwork. You can contribute to the Moku world. But also, like, bring that artwork here, and we're gonna have the next season is office hours. It's also helpful to the rest of the team because, like, you know, we're cranking on Grand Arena, but I don't want to end it because I love it so much. We love it. It's the best. And y'all are awesome. So that's season 1 of Fartist Boobcamp, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
Fucking yeah. And I'm so stoked. This has been awesome. Never let it die. I know this episode was like really jam-packed with stuff, but I wanted to end it strong knowing that Fartist office hours is next. So, hell yeah. Hell yeah, hell yeah. And thank you, Momo.
I'm trash, you're trash, we're all trash.
And thank you, Bio. And thank you, Shader. And thank you, Sweet Potato. And thank you, Seth Hallion. And thank you, Cartboard. And thank you, Made in China. And thank you, Sean. Thank you. Thank you, Bean. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Cammy. Thank you, Sweet Potato. Thank you, Tilly Jane. Thank you, Henna. Thank you, Hafa. But that ends today's class, babies. Mamas are so proud. Fable, share your address. Oh man, I was not paying attention to how many people were in the room. Did anyone on the team? Okay, you did. Thank you. Sorry, I'm not paying attention. You're the best. Thank you. Okay, got it. And you never know what's gonna happen, so it was very cool to be able to give that out, because shit's happening, you know. Shit's happening at Moku. Don't forget to do your homework, because good things happen when you do your homework. Amazing. It's happy homework. And also I want to point out that like I think what's important about Fable doing that homework is that like everyone's in a very different place on their journey artistic wise. We're not going to be rewarding who is the best or who is the worst or who is the this or the that. We want to reward people who are trying, just putting in the effort. So I hope that is encouragement to all of y'all. That, in my opinion, and I think Momo's too, is like we will always have so much respect for the people who try, even if you're trash along the way, because that's part of the journey. So, not to say that Fable is trash. I mean, we're all trash. So, be trash. Okay? Yay! I need to color them too. Whoa. Okay, thanks everybody. Appreciate you. Mommy loves you.